Thank you very much, respected chairman of one of the vibrant branch of the WRC of ICI, a dear friend Prasad, respected chairperson, but more than a chairperson, she is again dear friend, Priti Savlaji, of the dais, my dear friend Mangesh, because of whom probably I am standing here as the president of ICI. Lot of support he had given me during my council days when he was in the council. Another friend in the audience I can see, again women chairperson of the one of the largest branch of the ICI, chairperson of the Pune branch, again dear friend Uta, the entire managing committee members, respected seniors, dear friends. It is an indeed honor for me to come here and to be amongst with all of you. Friends, today I might be standing before you as the president of ICI, but this journey was not simple, and I am from the western region, and each one of you blessed me with lot of support, lot of love, and it was because of you I started my journey at the regional council, became the chairman, became the central council member, and today I could become the president of the ICI. So on my personal behalf, let me thank each one of you for showering that particular love to me. Thanks a lot. Friends, when we are talking about the ICI, what exactly central council is doing, what regional councils are doing, what branches are doing, and naturally now our profession is such a big, 3 lakh members, over 7.5 lakh students, 164 branches, 34 international chapters, and many times members have always have that curiosity what ICI is doing, what is the future of the profession, what will be their role as the chartered accountant in practice, being members in industry. Friends, at ICI level, at the central council level, that entire policy decisions which are affecting the profession, that care is being taken care of, and it is always our endeavor that we want to be relevant in all times. Just now we completed our 70 years journey, and thanks to all the seniors who are sitting here, it was because of their continuous excellence, ethical practices, that this journey was really, really wonderful. And in this particular last 70-year journey, every time we got lot of support, lot of respect, and my compliments to all the seniors for keeping this flag of the ICI at very high level. When times are changing, we always say it is a challenging time. Let me assure you, every year if you look back, whosoever was the president or whosoever was the council or whosoever was when we were practicing, right from the day we started our practice or job in industry, every time we felt this is a challenging time. And every challenge brings a lot of opportunity. It is the role of the council, it is the role of the professionals who are sitting, the people whom to you elect as your leaders, that they must understand what are the challenges, and out of these challenges, how opportunities can be converted. Our motto is simple at the central council level. We just want to be relevant. We want to be relevant before the government. We want to be relevant before the stakeholders who are expecting a lot of things from the chartered accountants. We want to be relevant for the members. We want to be relevant for the members in practice. We want to be relevant for the members in industry, and also we want to be relevant to the 7.5 lakh students who have a lot of hopes, lot of dreams. And I must compliment this entire students fraternity. Everybody knows that this year result is going to be only 10 or 12%. There is nothing like that. There will be a 30%, 40%, 50% result at least. Even though I wish, but that result, I don't see that kind of results there. But still these students, not knowing properly also, but still they have that particular faith into this particular degree, and they join this profession. So again, this particular information is very, very important when we take the decisions. I'll start with the students. When Mangesh was the chairman of the vice chairman of the board of studies in the year 2017, we changed the entire course curriculum. Now we don't have the CPT, it is being replaced by the foundation. Again, now the intermediate and CA final. If you see the CA final course curriculum for the first time, we started with the open book examination. We started with the concept of the elective papers, so that the student can also not mugging but also understanding the subject, and they will write the the open book examination. So this kind of first course syllabus we have changed. Again, many times recently there were few students were expecting that their papers are not checked properly and all those things. Let me assure you friends, not only as the president but also I am the chairman of the examination committee of the ICI, and I can assure you that it is 100% transparent system. Absolutely nothing comes to the even to the president of the ICI. Even question right from paper setting, I do not know who are the paper setters. I do not know how many multiple question sets are being prepared. They just bring to me, as you are aware, they just put the code number on the question set. So lot of question sets come, A, B, C, D, E, F, G kind of thing. When I am picking that particular envelope, I do not know whether this is for the intermediate or this is for the final examination. So right up to that particular thing also we are taking a lot of care. Then it comes to the evaluation. Friends, earlier we used to empanel the chartered accountants or maybe the professors just based on their experiences. Again, last 1 year we started with the examination of the examiner. Now even those who want to become the paper checkers, they have to undergo one small examination. So again, that is again our effort towards the quality control kind of thing. As you are aware, earlier we used to send the papers to the examiner for their checking, and again they used to send it back. This process will take 4 days to travel, 4 days back travel, and all those things. To reduce this particular thing, we have started with the digital evaluation of the question papers. Now most of the answer sheets are being scanned in the system. One of the largest company in the IT, they are doing this particular job. Whosoever is the examiner on their desktop, that particular paper comes and they have to check on the digital mode only. That is eliminating all these totaling errors and all those things, so that students are being benefited. We are not stopping there. We are using the technology also. Every 45 seconds, that camera flashes on that particular examiner. There are thousands of examiners, but every 45 minutes that image is being captured by some of one examiner, and that is matched with the system. So again, sometimes people say we are paper ko dusra check kar raha tha and all those things. So whatever best is possible for the students, that we are doing. Again, for the first time, starting with the May examination in the history of the ICI, we started giving the objective type questions and answer even at the inter and final level examination. Because many times, and rightly so, when students are writing their answers properly, they expect something that my answer should have been checked into this particular manner. Again, descriptive type questions, it is not possible to check uniformly. I may give 5 marks, you may give 6 marks, or you may give 4 marks kind of thing. But again, to help the students, we started with the objective type questions even for the inter and CA final level. So this kind of things, friends, we are trying to do it for the students. Now coming back to the profession at large and membership at large, as I said, there are about 3 lakh members. Half of them are now into members in the industry, and many of them are also still continuing to be members in practice. When we are looking ahead, what is going to be my profession 5 years down the line or maybe 10 years down the line? So many things which are happening, and that is going to affect our profession also, the way we are practicing, and all those things are also becoming important. Friends, when we were the articles, and many senior, when we were the articles, even these accounting standards, auditing standards, they were not there, or even if they were there, they were not mandatory. Now most of the things are becoming slowly mandatory. Sometimes our membership who are into practice, and I am fully aware that our 70 to 80% members who are into practice are still into sole proprietorship kind of thing, or 1 or 2 partner kind of thing. So when they are practicing as the individual chartered accountants or maybe as a smaller firm, they find it difficulty in terms of various accounting standards, auditing standards. Now even our ethical standards are benchmarked with the global standards. Friends, when we are having these particular challenges, when we are expecting that this life is becoming tough, but on the other side, if you look at what is happening in the economy, as you are aware, entire world is becoming one. Even the government of India is also signatory to so many trade arrangements and agreements with the various global countries, and therefore various sectors, right from accounting, auditing, something is there about every sector, how we are going to open that particular sector, how we are going to move into that particular sector. so many foreign companies are working and doing businesses in India. So when we talk about the very nice financial statement, naturally they must be backed with the sound accounting standards. And when we do the audit, it must be backed with the proper auditing standards. And therefore, even though we wish that this journey should be slow, but in times to come, there is absolutely no shortcut in terms of understanding all these accounting and auditing standards and also the ethical standards. So that particular thing I am requesting all of you, because most of the time accounting standards we have seen, and some I also chair the 2 disciplinary benches, and many times the cases comes. Many times there is a compliance with the accounting standards, but many times if suppose complaint is coming from any regulator, and when we ask that particular chartered accountant show us your paper, working papers, etc., we don't follow any auditing standards, and he says, "Sir, वो client मेरा पहचान का था, 5 साल से I am the auditor, I never felt those things and all those things." Friends, we will have to go to that particular level also, where everything is there. Of course, what I say is I will be touching those things also in a few minutes, but these are the expectations. Now another set of expectations, what is happening now, some businessman is doing something wrong. First day that businessman or that business house name will come, next day, very next day, the name of a chartered accountant will come, and it is very painful when we are as a profession, we see absolutely the role of a chartered accountant is not like an investigator, role of a chartered accountant is not like a forensic auditor. There is absolutely difference between all those things. But the the regulators at large, and now the other day I was with the CBI director, just 2 days before I was with the CBI director, and I told him, sir, it's absolutely fine if you find somebody is doing something wrong, and it is absolutely right on your part or anybody's part that you can check the workings and all those things. But when we are talking how many regulators that we as a professionals are facing, we have the local police, economic offence wing, over and above that CBI, then maybe anti-corruption bureau, then over and above that if you go to the national level, serious fraud investigation, SFIO, then MCA, then ICI, some of the listed companies SEBI, some of the listed companies maybe BSCs or NACs and all those things. So how one chartered accountant can deal with so many things? And in principle, we are trying to work it out with the various government authorities. But in our country, the problem is that the police and law is the state subject. Again, the central government cannot issue direction to the local police officers. In one of the cases when we approached the then finance minister, and he categorically told us that this law and order and police is the state subject. So many times, friends, these are the things. But my sincere request to all of you that when we are doing our work such in the most appropriate manner, please keep the documentation, because that is very, very important in times to come. Also, as I was mentioning, we have to be relevant in all aspects. So now, first thing, we have to be relevant before the various authorities, for which please trust the IC and the leadership. We are taking continuous efforts, be it CBDT, be it the GST. I find so many now GST experts are here, but continuously with the just a few days before, the Honorable Finance Minister of the country had called ICI for giving the presentation, and it was not like that we just met and we are given some PPT presentation. She made us to sit, and actually return filing was done by the ICI person. So 3 of us went, our officer was there, and whenever we see now this is the problem in GSTR1, or maybe I am not into that particular thing, I may not be up to date in that particular respect, but all those return filings, actually Finance Minister herself sat for 45 minutes. She asked her what are the problems that are being faced. Many times there is some quarterly return, there is some monthly return and all those things, so mixed messages are happening and all those things, everything we have noted. So what my point was that on any subject which is relevant to the profession, ICI is taking all its efforts how we can go there. When we were talking about how we can be relevant before the regulators, friend, when we started this year, as you are aware, the term of the president and the council starts somewhere in February, and it goes on for 3 years, and for the president for 1 year. First thing in the month of February, what we did is concept of UD. I'm quite sure now everybody must be using UD, correct? How many of you are using UD number? Okay. So I'll come back to that, and this is one thing which we personally feel this is a very good shield as far as the practicing chartered accountants are concerned, because now it is only the full-time COP holder can generate that particular UD. It is, as you are aware, how the system works, takes place. No other person can log in our system and generate that particular UD. We had 2 or 3 cases where somebody has submitted those, writing some fake UDIN number, maybe some loan proposal to the bank. Now banks are also, backtracking this particular document, and they came to know, okay, oh, this was not generated by the ICI. Earlier, what used to happen, somebody will put your rubber stamp or somebody's rubber stamp, and they will submit those, and maybe after 5 years, 7 years, by the time everything is over, it will come to know that it was not there. So we started with the concept of UDIN. I'm happy to share with you, last from February in a phased manner, we made it mandatory in few of the things. As of now, there are about 75 lakh number of UDIN have been generated by the entire profession. And I think this is a great job. So now friends, 75 lakhs, very soon we will have 1 crore unit. Okay? Now my question to all of you. Assuming now when you are generating one UDIN, you are not generating just to give it to your, some article training, this is how you have to generate UDIN. Each and UDIN, every UDIN is backed either for certificate or for audit report and all those things, correct? So when we are talking about say lump sum, say 1 crore of unit, now you only multiply how much fees you must have charged to generate that particular UDIN. 1 crore into, now let us come, 1,000, 2,000 or 5,000 rupees. 1 crore into 5,000 rupees. How much of money our chartered accountants only in practice must have earned? Problem is there, we don't charge properly. My small request to all of you friends, this is, I can openly share, we got some kind of monopoly for last 70 years. Let anybody say anything, but nobody is thinking of coming out with another institute of chartered accountants, or nobody is talking about giving some rights. Sometimes we say ICW ko kuch kaam de. Now how many ICWs are there in the country? Don't have any figure of anybody. Let me assure you, the government is absolutely not thinking of creating any body which will be like a parallel to ICI. So 1,50,000 members out of 130 crore country. Again, if you see 1,50,000, everybody may not be practicing in their own name. Suppose if I have one partner, two partner. So again, as a practicing unit only, there are effectively 60 to 70,000 chartered accountant units which are giving the services. Now, how many lakhs of companies are in India? Maybe private limited, listed limited companies. How many trusts are there? How many, income tax returns they are being, tax audit returns they are being, uploaded by the fraternity. Whereas this effective work is there, but unfortunately, we compete with each other as if that client will go somewhere in the, another local market and he will buy that kind of vegetables. Please never do that. Problem is that we don't charge properly. Therefore, sometimes, I'm not saying I can't blame you, that the quality also suffers, and many times now the cases are being referred even for your routine tax audit cases. Income tax department is filing those cases before the ICR for the disciplinary mechanism. And this is very wrong sign. Earlier for bigger frauds or bigger some errors, the maybe what you call register of companies, ROC, or maybe higher level of investigation agencies, they used to file the complaints. But now of late I am seeing even the income tax officers are referring the cases that quality of your tax audit report was not there because of there is loss of revenue kind of thing, and they will put that. It takes only 2,500 rupees to file the complaint, and they are unfortunately that chartered accountant has to face the entire music. And as I was mentioning, then that particular time, suppose if you don't have backup paper, in all the disciplinary committees, apart from central council member, there are government nominees. The government nominees are as high as the IS, ex-retired IS people and all those things. So it becomes difficult. Sometimes we also understand CA might not have done anything wrong, but it becomes difficult sitting in there in a judicial position to defend the profession. So this one particular thing, friends, we must keep in mind. Again, I was talking about the auditing standards and all those things. Friend, one thing which is going to impact is again the impact of technology to the profession. If you have ever read about the IFAC, if you visit the IFAC website, even the IFAC level, which is 130 countries apex body, they are talking about the future of profession. What is going to be the roadmap, and everybody knows it's not only in India. If you see globally, everywhere this particular profession of accountancy is under maybe some questions or maybe some lot of expectations from various. You go to UK, you go to South Africa, just Google it and you will come to know what kind of expectations is expected from the chartered accountancy profession worldwide. I was talking about the technology. Definitely, a few years before, as you are aware, the mobile was just communication device. You can call me, I can call you back. That was the only thing. But now sitting here, we can actually book our hotel room, our travel ticket. Some of my youngsters friends are there. They are continuously on the WhatsApp, Facebook. They might be updating. Prafulla Chhajed speaking. I am not enjoying this session was good. Session was bad. And this kind of on the real time basis, you are connected to so many people virtually. Some of them on the Facebook. Facebook is one interesting thing. There are so many virtual friends. You never met them. I don't think you are going to ever meet them. You try to find out friends. Sometimes you send the request and sometimes somebody sends the request. And I don't know why we become the friends and all those things. But let us not go into all those things. Why my limited point was that technology has come to such a level. Now even for smaller things, even if you want to order something, bhajipala or something, that is also available online kind of thing. So how this particular profession? Once upon a time there was a big profession of travel agents. They will book our railway ticket, they will book our flight tickets and all those things. But because of technology, this entire profession has gone. So why this profession is not going to impact your and my business? Now government is talking about pre-filled income tax returns. In times to come there will be GST pre-filled return. Then what you do? Then whether CAs are needed or not needed. So my dear friends, we have to understand the technology also. Our role from the compliance, how we can go to the maybe consultancy. That time has come. We must understand all those things. How technology we can use properly for our all these routine kind of checking. Ultimately, what is the auditing? You go to your client's place, you do sampling based on your experience about that client business, about the behavior of that client, and then you say 20,000 के ऊपर का voucher बता दो, 5,000 के ऊपर का बता दो, ये transaction बता दो, related बता दो, kind of things only we do. This everything in machine can do. You just put everything on the data and machine will be giving you the exceptional report. Those who are doing the bank audits, sometimes we are not expert into understanding those, the Finacle or maybe some bank audit software, but every software gives you the exceptional reports. So based on that analytical things, you have to report. So right from now, apart from auditing, we have to have a journey from analytical things. But again, this kind of technology, bigger firms have access to certain audit tools. They have this certain methodology. But again, I was mentioning 70% of my firms are smaller firms. How do we, as a profession, can be relevant to all of you? And I'm happy to share one important decision. Just 2 days before, on 18th, we had our council meeting. And thankful to all my council colleagues, this year has been fantastic. Not a single agenda is going back. On one single day, we have completed 45 agendas. This time, on 18th. And many of them are directly related to profession. One important thing what we are taking. ICI is coming out with various certificate courses, forensic audit, or maybe certain XYZ, 10, 12 courses are going on. And it is not possible for every member to attend all those courses because sometimes fees are high. It could be only 25,000 rupees if I say so, but it is, especially for the younger members, they say कि सर 4 course करूँगा तो 1 लाख रुपया लग जाएगा, but opportunity भी नहीं है kind of thing. On 18th, we have taken one important decision. All certificate and diploma courses run by the ICI. Now very soon, maybe after I sign the minutes and all those things, effectively 30% on board straight away reduction in the fees that we are charging. Because of this, many now certificate courses will go into losses. We had a debate कि अरे सर इसमें से loss हो जाएगा जिसमें profit उसमें करते हैं. But many times I am also attached to the membership at last for last 20 years. Whenever you fight the elections, members will ask ICI के पास इतना पैसा है क्या करते हो? This is very common. They don't understand your ICI audits are being audited by some chartered accountant. And let me tell you friends, now I am at this stage where I can speak from my heart and you will all will believe. Till yesterday you will not believe what I was talking. Let me tell you friends, ours is the only profession, as I said in the beginning, 164 branches, 5 regional councils, 34 overseas chapters, totaling say about 200 units. Now each and every unit, 200 units is backed by some team of 10 or 20 people. Who will be doing honorary services? Priti will have his own time, Prasad will have his own, entire managing committee. None of them getting any salary from the ICI. So at any particular time, 4 to 5,000 people continuously round the clock are giving their free services for the cause of the membership and the students. Next to that, now today we are having the session. Yesterday you inaugurated, na? So now 2 days, and parallelly in a year, when I go to, I am also representing ICI on various international forums, be it IFAC, SAFA, TAPA, so many things. And when we talk as a profession, in a year, collectively, we conduct about 6 to 7,000 programs, be it study circles, be it branches, be it the regional council. Now, these 6,000, the programs, how many speakers must be giving their time? I see some of my friends who are coming as a speaker. What do you give them? Some small memento. And many times, the branches have the standard memento. And every time you go, you will get same memento. And I don't want to name, but Mangesh is there, and one of the branches will go, they will give. Smriti must have also observed during, now she has become the chairman. You go to that branch 3 times, and same memento will be given to you. So we used to say, Baba, so my only point, these all, very senior people, they come only for the love towards profession free of cost. So at any time, 10 to 12,000 people. And this I told one of the union minister recently, I met them. मैं बोला सर आप ICI की बात करते हो, मैं बोला कोई भी आप प्रोफेशन बताओ दूं कि जहाँ 10 से 12,000 लोग फ्री में काम करते हैं. मेरा प्रोफेशन है जहाँ 10-12,000 लोग at any point of time काम करते हैं. And I am very confident now you are Thane and most of you must be from Thane. Anytime you get a call from a chairman, कि अरे यार आपको ये काम करना है, आपको वो काम करके देना है, आप लोग जैसे when I came, I am thankful to 5 ladies who have given me, blessed me with the tika and all those things. So everybody, I was not knowing them also, but just because the ICI president is coming, the membership is coming together, they are welcoming me. It's not question of Prafulla Chhajed, but it is the question of how much energy we as a profession are putting. Just 1 or 2 people doing wrong thing, you cannot paint the entire profession. I am very convinced about that. And whenever I talk to any minister, yesterday also CBI director, I said, sir, let us have one joint program. What you expect and what I expect, let us have one webinar, and he in principle agreed. So like that, friends, trust leadership. Many times what happens, whatever initiatives ICI is doing, we are under Act of Parliament, we are not an association, we are a regulator of profession. So whatever things we are doing, we are not updating on the social media or on the WhatsApp. So many times members what they feel, ICI kuch kar nahi rahi hai. This is very problem where our leaders, they come only for election. I am also member of so many groups and I also keep on silently reading. I don't reply also there. But friends, try to understand our positions, that being the, being a regulator, how many times do you get every time SEBI ka or RBI ka WhatsApp messages from RBI, governor or deputy governor? Everything is good in the banking system or everything is good in the capital market system, whether SEBI executive director keep on updating. But members elect us, and proudly so also, and naturally you also expect a lot of things from what is happening. But I am just telling you, every 3 years you get opportunity, and everybody who is sitting on this side of the table is because of love and affection of yours. So when we are getting elected from the membership at large, I am yet to find any council member, any branch member who will work against the members and the students. But what is important in this particular time, we must have faith into the entire leadership. All these people are doing, free of cost work and all those things. They also need a lot of support. Okay, anyway, now going back to that particular thing, technology. So I was talking about to update the skill set of our members so that they can do the various programs 30%. Journey not has start there. Again, in the same council, what another important decision, what we have taken. Now, as I was talking about certain audit tools and all those things, and when I had visited America, that American institute, like that we always say we are the second largest profession, but in absolute number we are the largest profession on the accountancy in the world. In America, what is happening? In America, they have this state-wise CPA. Like New York will have one CPA, California will have one CPA, and they have one association, AICPA. And that's why together in absolute number, as an association, they are bigger. But as a one individual CPA or one individual state, if you take, ICI is the biggest organization in terms of the membership that one. But that AICPA is recently come out with, they have collected money from their firms. $100 million they have collected from the membership, because any institute from where they will get the money na. So they have collected that money from the membership. They are developing certain technological tools which will be available, and they will be giving again maybe free or concessional rate to the membership. Again, I understand the profile of our work, and I was again referring, ICI के पास इतना पैसा है तो किसका है, correct? Again, we have taken one decision, friends, on this 18th of this thing. We are, we are keeping aside to start with. I am not saying we will stop here. First decision what we have taken, a sum of 30 crore rupees have been earmarked to develop all these audit tools and all those things which we want to give it back to the membership, maybe at free of cost now. This 30 crore is one beginning, and maybe any whatever money is will be required, so that my members are in a better position. They are in a better position in terms of documentation and all those things. Another one important decision, initiative what we have taken as far as using this particular technology, we have started with the concept of digital learning hub. I do not know how many times you visit the ICA website, but this particular digital learning hub, in a small way, it has already started. Our aim is that it is going to be like a YouTube channel of the learning. So many audio, video lectures will be there. Already few of them already there. So now I see Mr. Venkat Ramani. Every time he cannot come, and every time you cannot be getting that particular benefit. So what we are going to do, we are going to take the videos and audios of all distinguished people. We are going to put on the website as per your convenience. Whatever speaker you like, you will try to listen to that particular gentleman, and then that is going to be again the council has taken one important decision, that we are also starting with the structured CP hours for e-learning. So to begin with, 20% of whatever CP. Many times I see mad rush in the month of the December, because many times we feel there are CP baki. Please never complete CP for the sake of completing. As I said, quality is really important. Every day we are, not only me as a profession, but you as an individual are going to face this kind of challenges, because it is not only the regulators which is expecting the quality, now even your clients are expecting that kind of quality. So please friends, be updated. So now even for this digital learning, now recently on 6th and 7th we had the international conference in Mumbai. So for the first time, those who have attended this regional conference on the web mode, there were few questions and all those things. To start with, 4 structured CP hours were granted to the membership. So in times to come, friends, sitting at your home, sitting in your desktop, similar lot of initiatives on the digital learning board we are taken for the students also. Just by paying 4,000 or 7,000 rupees, now students, the entire coaching material, like there are faculties which are giving subject wise, chapter wise coaching to our students. But many times what happens, we feel these private coachings are better, and I say coaching is not better. Again, that please change that particular mindset of the student. So this digital learning hub also we have started with the membership at large. Also we have started many programs on the blockchain, fintech and the technological things that we believe currently are going to be updated on all those things. Some of you who has recently attended this international conference, there was a very fantastic session by the CFO of Mahindra and Mahindra. He is a chartered accountant. He was earlier CFO of Mahindra and Mahindra. Now he is a CFO plus CI also, Chief IT Information Officer. Okay, so now as a chartered accountant, he has a dual capacity and beautiful presentation. Now when we are talking, and the point of mine was that you must now from compliance to consultancy, you should visit. Now friends, data is the key in times to come. Everything is available on the data, and especially for the corporation, whatever data they are collecting, they are putting in that particular system. On the Google you may get generalized data, but for any company like your office, whatever data is there, your accounts and all those things, it's available to you in that particular fashion. Whatever they have given one beautiful presentation. They have developed one robo. It is not a machine robo, but it is like a robo on the screen. Entire information is there. That as a CFO, that he only sits before the computer and asks that particular robo, the robo, now what is my sales say in the Maharashtra? And that robo will say your sales are good or bad or something. Say maybe in the city of Satara you are not doing well. Because that robo is doing that analytical work, and CFO doesn't have to, or maybe your decision maker doesn't have to do that kind of work. And that will say you are not doing Satara. The next question, why we are not doing good in Satara? Immediately robo will access the information which is available, and they will say your competitor is offering 10% of discount And now, then you will ask, now what should be I doing? Then robo will also analyze the things and give you another solution. Okay, you increase either your percentage of commission into that particular area, or you spend more on the advertising and all this kind of thing. So friend, now newly qualified chartered accountants, or maybe all of us, maybe 5 years down the line, again we will be facing the music, or we will have to update ourselves to this kind of virtual world, and everything will be there. As I said, again I say we started with the 6 forensics laboratories also in the country, where dedicated things which are being provided to the chartered accountants, those who are interested, and also we are coming out various programs, workshop on the digital learning and blockchain and fintech kind of thing. So that kind of efforts also, friends, I see as a big, even for the benefit of the students. Students are the, as I said, the future brand ambassador of the profession. The entire, all these ITT training courses we are running, we are conducting across all 155 locations, 4,500 computers, maybe costing some 20-30 crores rupees at one go. ICI changed those all the machines, because we believe our students should get updated machines for learning. So that also decision, friends, the ICI has taken. So like that, friends, we are trying to take things which are really, really important. We are also, we understand, as I was talking about, smaller firms, how you can go to bigger firms. Before merging, it is not easy that after Prafulla Chhajed goes there will be okay, exchange of cards, and tomorrow you will become the partners. It's a very difficult journey. Now we are trying to ease our networking guidelines. We fully are aware current networking guidelines are having certain shortcomings, but looking into ethical things and looking into the regulatory things, we are trying to make more comfortable as far as these particular things are concerned. One important thing Preeti is reminding me, but again we got stuck into that. Friends, many times any council member and everybody, and we will request you for contribution of CAPF. And one thing I will request all of you, please, if you are not insured properly, please insure. Being sitting at there as again in the CA Benevolent Fund, I feel really pity sometimes that the deceased family members of a deceased chartered accountant, they give the application, they don't have a monthly income of 10,000 or 15,000 in case that our particular friend is not there. Friends, this is my request. I am not here to sell any insurance product, but please insure yourself properly. Again, this CABF was one important challenge, because we don't have corpus, and very some 2 or 3 crore rupees every year we get the money. We always wanted. Again, I was referring to ICI के पास पैसा ICI क्या करती है. We have taken one decision, but again it has got थोड़ा अटक गया. But I'll explain what decision we have taken. So what we have done, we have kept 20 crore rupees from the surplus of ICI to be transferred to the CABF. So that every year 20 crores in 5 years time the line, we will have 100 crore rupees surplus, and then our aim was that then we can give maybe minimum 25, 30, 40,000. But only thing, friends, we are under Act of Parliament. It is the members' body, and now we got some legal opinion that we may attract, the income tax exemptions will be under questions, etc. We are just trying, and we are also referred this matter to Ministry of Corporate Affairs for that further things. But in times to come, so friends, we are trying to collect all those things which is really, really important. I see so many women chartered accountants are here. The regional chairman is there, one of the largest branch. She is also the women chartered accountant, and this my last 20 years journey. I came to I met so many women chartered accountants who are not only possessing very distinguished qualifications, but they are also in terms of good faculties and all those things. So that particular area is also concerned, or we are also working on that particular thing. We are also working about the young chartered accountants. Now of late the trend is that many of our young chartered accountants, they are trying to take a job in industry. Most of the time, in spite of we having GLCS and all those things, sometimes the quality of a chartered accountant, and the fault if it's not of that chartered accountant. What is happening? They are doing articleship in your and my firm. Depending on the profile of our firm, that boy or that girl get that kind of training for 3 years. But when they appear for the interview in the corporate, they will ask Ind AS में क्या पता है? And if he has done something article in my firm, I don't have, suppose Ind AS company, what that boy will answer, and then corporate will say अरे आपका quality ठीक नहीं. Again, to help these students, we are also, as I said, on the digital board we are working. Another thing, what important thing is, after this last year final results when they were announced, the entire batch of the rank holders, be it the first rank or the last rank, this entire batch, we had a special arrangement with the Manipal Institute, 24 days, one dedicated course, 24 days residential program we developed for all our rank holders, and they were given that particular specialized training. I'm happy to share with all of you. Again, ICI ka paisa, the program was very costly. 80% of the fees was borne by the ICI. And in terms of economically backward students, even the 100% fees was being, absorbed by the students. Now we are working with various management institutes across the country so that large number of chartered accountants can be benefited. So even for members in industry, we are working. For members in practice, as I said, audit tools, whatever things, networking opportunities, other opportunities, not to mention because now it has become routine matter. Sir, bank audit nahi aata, ye nahi aata, but continuously we are also working on all those things where fair allotment should happen and all those things. As I was mentioning, we are also trying to bring the technological thing. So friends, as a whole, as a ICR, we are trying our best so that we are able to meet the expectations not only of the members, but again, as I said, 5 years down the line, how this profession is going to be relevant for new chartered accountant. GST experts are here, so many of them, and again ICI, and thanks to all of you. Again, we remember the speech of Narendra Modi on 1st July 2017, and it was the GST day also, and every time we remember that speech. But we remember as a ICI what we have done, we have picked up each and everything because he being the head of the country, whatever he has said, we have taken everything in a positive mode. Of course, but whatever errors were there in his speech, we have also polite manner, we are conveyed to write from the Prime Minister office to the Minister of Corporate Affairs. But certain expectations, what they had from the profession, we work on that, and I do not know, we remember the speech, but for last two on 1st July, we are getting a letter signed by respected our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. In one of the 1st July letter, he has categorically mentioned that it was because of the ICI support this GST is really successful, and lot of compliments they have given. So friends, this entire journey with your support, with the whatever feedback that we are trying to get, we are also working. One last few things I will tell and then I will stop. Even on the global fronts, I was mentioning about 34 chapters. They are not just chapters, they are actually the brand ambassador of the profession. And many times what used to happen now, currently also about 40,000 of Indian chartered accountants are either working or settled down in the overseas countries, right from Canada to Australia to New Zealand, everywhere. And all these 34 chapters are helping. At the ICI level, currently we have signed about 50 MRAs or MOUs with these various professional bodies across the globe. Last month only I was in London on behalf of the ICI. We signed the mutual recognition arrangement with the Institute of England and Wales. Now compare the Institute of England and Wales, the ICI. But if you are Indian chartered accountant under that MRA route, I think maximum 1 or maximum 2, not beyond 2 papers, if you write, you actually get the membership of the Institute of England and Wales. You don't have to do any of the artificial training or the entire thing. If they come to India, they have to do 4 papers. So this is the power of our training. Similar element is CCP Australia, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Australia and New Zealand, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Saudi Arabia. All another large number of our chartered accountant friends are in the Gulf. In India, we are having 10 plus 2 plus 3. And they don't recognize these 3 because in most of the countries, in maybe Europe or American countries, they have the plus 4. So they say you are not properly trained. Again in UAE, they don't understand BCom. They say you should be graduate in accountancy and auditing, in accountancy and finance. They don't understand BCom. We said, sir, in our country same syllabus is there, but it is a BCom. But they say no, it has to be bachelor into that particular thing. In India, so many thousands of universities, how we recognize all those things. But since we are concerned with the profession of accountancy, what we did, there is one UK NARIC is UK based UK government outfit, which is actually doing qualification recognition and qualification equalization across the globe. So we have submitted all our training material, we have submitted all our the methodology about how the person becomes a chartered accountant. I'm happy to share with you again that came last month only, maybe 50 days before. UK NARIC has certified ICI intermediate student as the graduate in UK and UAE and CA final student or maybe chartered accountant as the postgraduate even for the UK and UAE. So that kind of work, friends, continuously we try to do so that our members are benefited. So if you see the bigger picture of the ICI, there are so many things which are there. One side government is there, another side members are there, another side expectations are there, media is there. I also understand some of the press people also, my dear friend has invited. So everybody is expecting, but I can only summarize all those things. Trust your leadership. Don't believe social media blindly. I'm not saying you don't believe, but only thing, I'll give one example. Suppose in our family somebody has done wrong thing. Will you as a happily put that thing, oh my, and if you get somewhere chartered accountant has done something wrong, assumingly, we immediately forward that as if somebody has got gold medal. One of the cases has happened in Ghatkopar somewhere, that it was came in the media that chartered accountant arrested or there is inquiry against a chartered accountant. Everybody forwarded as if somebody got an Olympic medal. Next day we found that person was not a chartered accountant. But how many of you again forwarded that message? Because when you are forwarding something, again you belong to this profession. In my case at least, and I am quite sure in many of your cases, we are the first generation chartered accountant. Whatever home, car, everything we have, thanks to this particular profession. And I think we owe everything to this particular profession. We have collectively this responsibility for towards these 7.5 lakh students. And if you see the profile of the students 2 years before, auto rickshaw driver's daughter, she became the first rank holder. Last year, the son of a tailor from Ahmedabad, he became. Madam is from Pune. One Kirana shop son, he got third rank. So like that, friend, the ICI, whether it is examination or whether it is giving the that power to an individual from zero, actually this profession can make them hero. So we collectively we owe all that particular thing, friends. I need lot of your support, even though my present term may be up to say February, but you have elected me for 3 years. This is my commitment. This last 20 years I have, to the best of my abilities, I try to fulfill that commitment. Even for next 3 years as a council, definitely whatever your suggestions are there, please give it to the branch chairman, please give it to the regional, and please give it to them. They will forward it to us. Collectively, let us make this institute, which is having a wonderful journey of 70 years, make this relevant for next 70, 700 and maybe infinity years, for which lot of blessing, lot of support is requested from all of you. Thank you so much for inviting me here. Because all of you who made me from zero to the president of ICI, and I'm really sorry to all my distinguished speakers who are come here. I see all my friends who are going to be speakers for this session, for delaying their session, but I think somewhere communication is required. One again, last expectations from all of you: do support your branches, do support your regional council. Ultimately, they are doing work for you. So with that hope, once again I am really thankful to all of you.